Okay. Yeah, I'm setting up the build environment, so I've been able to work on stream because it's using up all the resources. So technically not late, just unable to stream. See here if I can set up the... Because I had to download basically 25 gigabytes of data. Then I had to import that data, and then I had to set up the build and build the cache, which took like probably 4 hours or something. I mean, I was up at 7 this morning, and I've been basically working on non-stop up until this point. So yeah, I already basically worked a full day before this. We put it that way. Hello, Lupus. There we go. That should be the chat. I think so. Just see. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear. So, idea today. I've got the build still up and running on my MacBook now, which is just sort of crunching numbers on its own. And I was thinking it would be kind of fun to sort of start thinking about and potentially formalizing some ideas about what we want the sort of Penguin Springs game loop / game world / gameplay to be. And I think, you know, because I want to start throwing out some how do you say, testing levels quite soon. My idea goes, we can put together, I'm just gonna go get some water and then I'll be back. Okay, get some water. All right, nice. Okay, so here is what I'm thinking. We are entering the testing phase, the sort of prototyping phase of Penguin Springs. And we need to start taking the concept and the ideas of what Penguin Springs is a bit more seriously now. And I was thinking, what better way to do that than by starting to like formalize some of the ideas surrounding what Penguin Springs could be. So, I think what we need to get straight before we start like throwing things out there is an idea of what's the game loop going to be. Because again, going back to sort of what kickstarted part of my newfound inspiration to want to pursue this Penguin Springs thing more seriously is looking at Schedule 1. Now, I haven't played Schedule 1, but I have a sort of a grasp on what Schedule 1 is doing, and the key thing that I took away from Schedule 1's success is the fact that it's really fun, supposedly, single player, while still offering the multiplayer experience. Now, we're not making a game where the only goal of the game is to make and sell drugs, right? That's not the point of Penguin Springs. Penguin Springs is a life simulation with a bunch of different careers you can pursue to earn money, to either develop yourself in that career or spend it on fun stuff. But if we sort of formalize some thoughts on what the game could be. So I think if we capture some key phrases, I would say, like, you have the career. We can do this. The career is part of it, right? The player has a career. And the career stands to support what? Well, it stands to support, like, house, plus vehicles, plus plus clothes, and also items, basically, right? Sort of same as Penguin Heist, where you do heists to earn money, which supports buying these things. But the difference being, and the key difference being, that in Penguin Heist, the sort of spending on weapons is a direct sort of influence on the heists themselves, whereas in Penguin Springs, the spending on items is just supposed to enhance your existence in the world. It's not for the benefit of the career. But you could still spend, if you want, sort of on upgrades, right? And that's another thing. So you can upgrade parts of your career, which consists of, like, okay, do I want to save up to buy the next boat so I can catch bigger fish? Or do I spend this money now on a house because I want to have a kick-ass house? So there's a decision making there involved of, do I upgrade my potential in my career, or do I upgrade my potential enjoyment by buying like a car, or whatever, just because it's fun to have a car. So really, like, that's the sort of exterior gameplay loop. This is the main idea of the game, and this is consistent across all careers, right? Whether you're a criminal, whether you're a police, or you're a freaking delivery truck driver, whatever. This is the sort of external game loop where you either have the choice of being in the career, upgrading your potential to make more money, or spitting out that money and spending it on a house, vehicles, clothes, or items. Does this make sense so far? This sounds like a reasonable concept, correct? Well, so I was thinking about that. So do we want to introduce sort of external pressures that are constant? Is that something we want to introduce? Because we could have that, and we could introduce it in the form of having to pay rent for an apartment. So you could, you could own an apartment, but you only pay rent for it. And then if you fail to pay rent, you get kicked out. Like, that could be an external pressure. It could be, food could be another thing that you have to eat. But again, is that a chore, or is that fun? That's the problem, right? When it comes to introducing these sort of constant external pressures that are supposed to sort of just require you to keep moving, do those end up being a chore, or do they end up being fun? Because my problem in, like, for example, in hello again, Chance Plush, in like Minecraft, hunger is only relevant up until a point where you set up a farm of animals or set up a farm for bread. At which point, hunger never ever becomes a problem ever again in Minecraft. It's done. And at that point, because it's no longer a problem, thank you so much for the 30 bits. So at that point, hunger is no longer a problem. Instead, it's just a chore. Something you have to engage in, like a ritual of eating the pork chop to keep that hunger bar full. Is that fun? It's a struggle for the beginning, like in real life. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we're gonna be playtesting this anyway, so do we want to start maybe on the end of more financial struggles and strife, as opposed to having everything be sort of like open-ended, like, you don't have a reason to do any of this. You just do it because it's fun. Penguin automatically consumes a piece of food every day. Should be there, yeah. If you don't have food, you move slower. Well, there could also be like a passive modifier for, like, if you're hungry, there's a risk introduced of producing poorly made, like failing at the making illegal substances, or a risk of I don't know, freaking dozing off while driving or something. Like, is that interesting? I don't know. Losing a job? Yeah, because you show up hungry, they're like, you're fired. I don't know, is the interest... Yeah, there are glitches in many maps, Idioka, but you can, if you join the Discord, you can drop it in the bugs and issues, and I'll try to address it when I can. Stop eating the product. Yeah, you're supposed to sell the product, not eat it. Like, it's the concept of rent. So imagine this, there's like multi-tiered housing, right? Ownership is permanent, rent is not. Yeah, I think when the train disappears, it's because someone shoots it. Yeah, so you have to save up in order to not have to pay rent. Yeah, that's the idea. So it could be like, you can have an apartment and stuff, but it's gonna keep like chewing at your stuff. So you can own an apartment quite quickly and you can furnish it and stuff. But since it's only a rental, you have to like keep earning money. Or you could be like, nah, I'm just gonna live on the street. I'm not gonna have an apartment. But that also means that you can't have like food storage. Like maybe you need to own housing or in order to keep food around that gets like consumed passively. Otherwise, you always have to like go to like the fast food place to buy a fish burger or whatever. Like if you own an apartment, that automatically takes care of hunger because, you know, you get passively fed, sort of. So that could be like the benefit of owning a house. You can stock up your fridge or whatever. The soup kitchen, if you have zero money, yeah, you can go to the homeless soup kitchen. I don't know, is that like too much simulation shit? Is it like, I worry about creating a world of chores as opposed to a world of yeah, so true, Skibbity. A world of chores as opposed to a world of like opportunities and challenges. Because I think that's the fun part, right? It's like, do I do this? Well, I have this risk involved if I do this, but maybe I should take the chance. Like those are sort of fun things. It has to be fun too. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. I don't know. Like the game could start with you. Okay. If we formalize, we could make rent fun if we can formalize a better idea other than just being like a food storage, right? If owning an apartment could be more relevant, maybe you can only have specific jobs if you have an apartment. Maybe they're like, oh, sorry, you can't work as a truck driver if you don't have a home address, you know? So then you have to have an apartment, because if you don't have an apartment, then you can't have those jobs. So then you're locked out of those jobs. Apartment is a save point. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because, I mean, I imagine some people would want to be homeless. Like, that could be... So, okay, well, I explained this in another stream, like, with regards to house ownership. My thinking goes, okay, if we imagine that these are roads, right? You might have a housing district. So, let's say you have, like, houses here. These red markers mark out houses, and all of these red markers here are identical houses. They look identical. Maybe on the outside there's a different color. Hi, I'm Alice. Oh my god, Crystal. That's Alice's alt account. And then these blue mark like other identical houses. So the way I'm thinking with regards to housing is that you buy access. When you buy a property, you don't buy the specific property, but you buy access to a housing type, right? So if I buy this property, I don't own that property because this is a multiplayer game, right? It's not just single player. So the way it works is every time you log into a server, it tries to occupy the house you previously owned, but if it can't occupy the house you previously owned, then it has to give you another one. Because there are other players on the servers, right? And you can drop in, drop out. So there's a potential someone else has bought this house, in which case, well, then it automatically assigns you to another one of the similar property type. So you're saying, I'm not buying access to this house, I'm buying access to any of these houses, is the idea. So that's how property ownership is going to work. And I think that's like a compromise between like ownership and sort of the right to ownership, if that makes sense. But it's just because, you know, let's say, for example, you have a server and you have a friend group of 8 people play on this server. One friend buys this house, and this is, for example, with permanent ownership idea. One friend buys this house, and then he just logs out and he never comes back in. Now this house is just standing there, and a remnant of this old friend, and you can't do anything with it because it's owned forever and ever and ever. Right? That's not fun. You want to have this sort of drop in, drop out feel. You can have like a public server where like the ownership is housing type specific, not housing specific. Well, that's not quite the idea, right? Sai. So the idea is more like your penguin character is constant across servers. So all servers, it's the same. You're not buying plots, you're buying the housing type. Empty houses can be sold then? Well, so, because you have to consider this. As a player, you have a character save file, and this character is the same across every server. It's not server specific. It's not like Minecraft where you join a server and then you have like a set of items for that server. No, it's separate save. Like every person has an account with the character, and that's consistent across every single server. You can make a new character file if you want to have, just like Penguin World, you know. Because there is a possibility of these servers, if you were to be able to buy plots, yeah, that would be the idea. I haven't played with Roblox and properties, but that would be the idea, Crystal. Yeah, like you occupy a house. Like if you say like, I'm buying ownership to all blue houses, well then you can claim one of the blue houses for the session. You log out, and then when you log in, it tries to claim ownership of the blue house. Yeah, I think that would probably also be similar to what I'm thinking. So it's a new game mode, but it also is a new game side. It's sort of in a gray area. It's Penguin Springs. Anyway, so that's the idea with house ownership. I think it's not a difficult problem, but it does end up feeling a bit like a compromise. But the idea is just you have to make this compromise in order to keep a single character save file that's consistent across servers. You have to have this sort of floating ownership of housing. But basically, you can only claim one property at one time in one session, right? So let's say you join the session, you buy the right to Blue House, and the blue houses are like smaller and older and worse than the red houses. So then soon enough you earn enough money to buy a red house. Well, then when you buy the red house, the blue house would actually get removed because you can only own, or you cannot only own, but you can only live in one housing type at one time during a session. You can't have two different houses that you're like transporting goods between. You can only own one at a time. But you still, you know, if you decide that, oh, the red house is too big for me, you can still go back in to the blue house because you have the right to live in one, right? You own a blue house. So that's the idea with property owning. But that's not relevant. I mean, that's like a detail as opposed to a core gameplay concept. But what I was thinking, okay, is that let's imagine sort of from the start, you boot up the game. Is the blue the color of all that I wear? I don't know. So here's the idea. You start the game, and at the start of the game, you are a new arrival to Penguin Springs. You maybe arrive via boat or plane, whatever, doesn't matter. You arrive in Penguin Springs. You show up at the like Penguin registers where you basically get handed the right to an apartment, but only a rental apartment. First month of rent is covered, but then you have to, at that point, start saving up for the next month, right? But now, because you own the apartment, you can go get a job, you can do anything, and you just have to pay rent. If you fail to pay rent, you lose the apartment. And if you don't have an apartment, you don't have the right to some specific jobs. But it's not required that you have an apartment. But that instantly creates pressure to like, okay, shit, I need to go get a job. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to afford rent. So if you don't afford rent, then you're homeless. Does that sound like a good idea? You show up in Penguin Springs, you get a free apartment, but you have to pay rent for it. If you don't pay rent, you lose the apartment. Instant pressure. You want to keep the apartment because who doesn't want a freaking apartment? Rent is not super expensive, but expensive enough where we have to sort of save up. I think that's like a good compromise because people want to have like a place to live, and I think having like a starter apartment makes sense. And then the dream becomes, because you have to pay rent to keep this apartment, the dream is to eventually buy a house where you don't have to pay rent. Right? But that opens up the door for like, okay, I don't want to play this housing game or own an apartment. I just want to be a freaking homeless penguin living on the street, rolling around in the mud, eating fish burgers from the garbage bin. No, so it's not real-time months. So it's in-game. Basically, I was thinking like in-game there's going to be like a week calendar basically. So the game will simulate weeks. So you'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you'd have the days and it would be like a ticker, right? So you'd tick through the days with a day-night cycle, and then it would say, you know, like week and month or whatever. And then maybe instead of having it be like per month, maybe it's like per week you pay rent. Like whatever feels more natural, we'll see. So it would say like week equals like 1 or whatever. So you sort of go through this week calendar, and then every week you have to pay rent or whatever. and this is in-game time. So if you log out, well, the server time is going to keep ticking, right? And then when you log back in, it's just going to update the time. So let's say, you know, you're playing and now it says like rent due like freaking Wednesday week 2 or whatever. Like that's when you start paying rent. But then you play 1-2 days and then you log out. So you log out, okay? You logged out on a Wednesday. It's been 2 days, so technically it's still rent due Wednesday, week 2. But then you log it back in because it's been 2 days. And you log back in, and on the server, it's, you know, these 2 days have been shifted. All of a sudden, it's week 2 on the server when you log back in, and it is Wednesday on the server. We just do some quick maths to see sort of update the time on this. So, oh shit, sorry. Because now all of a sudden we've shifted 2 days, we've shifted 1 week. So you missed a week while you were logged out or whatever. Well, then week would be 3. So it would keep track of sort of the days and tell you the end date. So you'd never, like, by logging out, you're never losing out on anything. I don't want you to, like, feel stressed about losing your apartment because you're not playing the game. It's in-game time. So basically, in-game, we'd keep a tracker of, like, how many in-game minutes are left until you have to pay rent, and then based on what time of day it is on the server you're playing, it would calculate it from that. So that's the idea. No punishment for logging out, no punishment for not playing, because it all is like as if your penguin is frozen in time. Yeah, whatever. We notice you've been out of town, so you pause your rent payments. Whatever, something like that, you know? That's the idea. And I think that's also makes sense. So rent would be the core sort of pressure for the newcomers. Rent, but also, so we have like rent. And do we want to do food? I think food is fun. Because I think if we implement the idea of, I don't know how I can achieve it, but I think I might be able to make your penguin a bit fatter. I can see, because it wouldn't be terribly difficult. So if we have it depends on how the bones are set up, but I think I might be able to make your penguin fatter, because I could scale all the clothes with it as well. See here, pull this. Where's the lighting? Used to be, oh, is that flat? Okay. A well-fed penguin works harder. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. I just want to see here if like I scale this bone here, does he become, yeah, he just becomes longer. That's the problem. He doesn't scale locally. Like I can make him, see, he doesn't, it scales all the bones. I mean, what I could do, okay, so there is a trick we could use, and I think I have used this previously. I don't know, it's like Unity is gobbling up the RAM. I don't know why that is lagging for some reason. Part of why I was late also. I wasn't sure why it was happening. Intercontinental ballistic missiles? Sadly, no. Yeah, it's a bit laggy on stream because of this. I don't know. So basically, will my Gwyn Newt Stars and Stripes? Yeah. Here's what you can do. So if you'd scale him up like that, you see that makes his belly fat, but his face grows. But you can scale him up to like 1.3, and then up here, you can divide this by 1.3. Yeah, we can make him fat. We can make fat penguins, people. Fat penguins confirmed. We're gonna have, if you overeat in the game, your penguin's gonna grow a sizable chunk. So if you overeat, your penguin's gonna get chunkier. Yeah, I don't know here. Look at this. Just big boned. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of bones in that region of the penguin specifically, but look at this. Look at this. Like my freaking memory. For Unity is absurd. Like, look at this write speed. It's writing so much. It's doing some weird sort of file import. Like it's using a, like, look at this. It's using all my RAM. 31.7 out of 31.8. It's struggling. Can you add a feature where if you die in game, you die in real life? Yeah, I can. That's easy. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it. There's something with the file import that is causing it to struggle. But it's basically using up all my CPU and using all my disk write. I don't know why. I don't know if it's hot reload. Maybe it's hot reload. But I don't think so. Just install another CPU. Yeah, it's something's up with Unity. There's some sort of memory leak it's doing. Some sort of memory leak. I don't know. I'll just let it do its thing, I guess. I don't know. Freaking weird. Oh, I haven't bought my lard, so we're gonna get there. Oh, you're playing Penguin Ice right now, Chippy? That's awesome. I haven't even bought the... Oh, you bought another one yesterday? Shit. I haven't bought the one for not Bop yet either. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll let Unity do its thing. I'm gonna get myself a lard. Mod payment a lard, yeah. So this... Dude, it's so laggy. I don't get it. Lag! Ah, shit. Black screen. Awesome. The entire thing crashed. My screen's just black. I don't know if you guys can even hear me at this point. Just all black. Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the chat is frozen. Everything's frozen. Oh. I just see a black screen, so an epic. Yeah, that's good. Well, right, so yeah, I can see I see my stream on the laptop. I can see it's still there, but obviously something afoot.
This is Fernando Miguel. He is really good at dancing.
Chippyfile has learned to dance.
Oh yeah, thank you for the follow. Well, we can still talk, I guess. So, rent and food. Rent and food are two motivators, just like real life. Rent and food are prime motivators. If you own a house, you can stock up food in your fridge, right? You can stock up food in your fridge, in your house, or apartment, I mean, your rental apartment. Otherwise, you just have to go to the... Yeah, you can live anywhere otherwise. There's no options for like, oh, you have to be under the bridge to live. You can be homeless. You don't have to pay rent. Is the idea. I don't know if I have to restart my computer or what, but like it's... Like doing Control-Alt-Delete doesn't do anything either, so... I mean, it's obviously doing something, right? It's doing something, because I'm still hearing the sort of glitching from the use of processor power. So it's doing some sort of calculation, obviously. Just not doing the rendering. So I'm not sure, because it might not be worth it to restart.
This is Fernando Miguel. He is really good at dancing.
Hondeki Haru has learned to dance.
Everyone's following me for this wonderful... This is like peak stream moment. Everyone's seeing this. As long as Penguin Springs doesn't have senior citizen discount. Maybe I should add aging to Penguin Springs. But only for those who are called Mega Dega. They are the only ones who age. And Penguin Robber. Anyone called Penguin Robber or Mega, they age in the game. Axis and world conflict, yeah. Just gonna restart the computer. I don't freaking know, dude. Or maybe, I don't know. Unity, right, stage. Yeah, there's gonna be more updates, Honda Chiaro. There will be. That's what I'm working on right now. And I think it will be enjoyed. Yeah, I'm just gonna restart the freaking stream. I don't know. Like, wait, I'm just looking through here. Oh yeah. 50 hours. That's crazy. I'm glad you're liking it though. That's awesome. I'm deleting some files here. Okay. I'm sort of running out of space for the builds here on my MacBook as well, which is not the nicest. Like, I think Unity is like importing all these artifacts or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna restart the computer and I'll be back in like a... I don't even know though. That's the thing. Like, if I restart the computer now, friggin' Unity might crap itself again while I'm streaming, which is like... Yeah, I'm gonna restart the computer. I'm restarting. Restart.